All right, we're going to do some tracking on drum exercises today. These are exercises for American Girl. If you guys want to learn this beat. 4th of July, doing an America song. So I should have done from the band America. Anyway, musicbythemeasurespro.com. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have a need for sheet music, if you're somebody who wants to learn on their own, if you're a teacher, we have great resources on our website, musicbythemeasurespro.com or mbtmpro.com. And it's a little behind the scenes action. We're going to just be, working on these four exercises, and then the beat, the main beat that gets used a lot through the entire song. There's a couple variations, and then there's a bridge that changes up quite a bit. So exercise number 1 is really just us developing the kick drum pattern, which I'm not very good at this. Those 16th notes get me quite a bit. So it's just something that I need to work on, and sometimes when I film these videos, they become good exercises for me to work on and teach and just work through all of that. So we're going to go 1, and 2, E, and. Now, I just need to show you the actual beat. So if anything, we're doubling the first half of this and repeating it here because the actual beat doesn't do much on the back end. It's actually just 3 and 4 and. But as I was processing, like, hey, how do I want to do this exercise? And even making some changes as I got ready to film this, I was like, it makes more sense for you to practice this twice in a row. Same for all of these variations, it's kind of like a beat sheet, if you will. Like some of those drum books you open up, you get all these different exercises. That's really what we're doing is developing exercises from the song American Girl. Tom Petty, Stan Lynch, really good drummer. I enjoy all of his drumming. It was a little sad when they got rid of him in the band. But yeah, I thought he was a very creative drummer. And amazing that this track is off their first album. I think it ends the album, if I remember correctly, but I don't know, it's just very ahead of their time in my mind. Okay, so we got 1, and 2, E, and. That's just it. We're just really going to work on getting those 16th notes going. And the first exercise, I think I have slotted for 55 BPM. Full speed on the song is 115. Really, again, just trying to get the idea of this down. This kick drum pattern. And so even if you don't want to learn the song, Tom Petty, American Girl by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, it's a good drum exercise for you to work on nonetheless. So let's get the tempo down. We'll do a couple practices without recording just to get an idea. 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3. Now, I can actually do that, right? But as soon as we get up to 90, 95, that's where I'm going to fall apart. But I've seen in doing these videos over and over again, and even practicing these rudiments with students, it's like, hey, couple weeks of practice or a couple days of practice on these kind of ideas, you'll be able to play whatever you want to. It's just continuing to get stuff simple, make stuff more simple. Can't talk tonight. And 4 and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and. All right, let's just jump in. So I always set up 2 measures of kind of like recovery. 1 measure is the click in, 1 measure is like, okay, I just played a track, 1 measure at the end. It's kind of just like a nice loop cycle. I do the same thing if I'm recording tracks for myself as well. So click in. And I got to remember to do 4 of them in a row. Kind of got distracted. Sometimes you just need to warm up. And this is kind of my warm up in the beginning. All right, let's delete that. Let's make sure. Okay, there we go. All right, let's tighten this guy up. So 4 in a row. 2 E and 3, 4 E and. So not bad. Not bad for the first try. Second try. Yeah, I feel like all of those are pretty much fine in the idea of it. Let's listen back. Quite often, it's going to take 3 or 4 just to kind of loosen up and get in the zone. But let's just listen where we're at. Yeah, totally the idea of it. Let's take the metronome out for a sec and just make sure that we're keeping a consistent groove nonetheless. Clearly have to do some mixing on my drum set. Yeah, that's perfect. We're going to do like 2 more, though, because I know enough about my own playing that if we start speeding this up and I have not really set the foundation of getting this groove, it's not going to get, better. And then I will be doing these for 4 days. All right, let's do like 2 in a row. Kind of shut my mouth, but I know I got a good one if I want to use it. Let's do that as well. Let's start over. Cool. We're going to just do one more. Kind of low key. Patrick, thank you. Now you say I got this, but if you go back to like a couple months ago, hey, thanks for the sub, my guy. I appreciate that. If you go back to my channel a couple months ago, I did not get this. It took me forever, and I never got it up to speed. But the 4th of July coming up is a good reason to revisit this. Obviously, we played this in a parade probably like 10 years ago now. Find the video. Anyway, yeah, it's a good time to revisit this. Good time to, like, I don't know, whenever you can take a break from something you worked on, come back to it like 2 or 3 months. And then also making this into an exercise or a rudiment exercise for me is the best way to do it. Because then I'm tackling it in a different way. And it just forces me to, especially even just listening back to, your takes and going, okay, how'd I play? How'd I do? Okay, here's where I'm rushing all the time. Let's listen. Cassidy, thank you. Yeah, that's perfect. So guys, if you are subbing, like the ambition or goal, and when I calm down a little bit, is I'm going to try to, this week, 4th of July is coming, try to do a little bit of all the different parts and see how much of actual tracking we can do, like actually like layers and the bass guitar and the drums we're doing, vocals and all that kind of stuff. Vocals I'll save for last and maybe never release because I need to work on some singing. Okay, anyway, so this next part, this will be exercise number 2. We're kind of like now going to simplify the beat, simplify the kick drum pattern, and just bring this. Same idea. That by itself is not complicated. It's when you put it all together that gets more complicated. And speed. Speed is our enemy. So 1 and 2 and 3. So it's a little bit slower than I was just doing it. And 4 and 1 and 2 and. So 55 might be too slow for this beat. I don't know if anyone actually needs it this way. Oftentimes in lessons, I don't know. So anyway, we'll record it. We can always not edit it and not release that part. Yeah, okay, could have been a little bit tighter with the metronome. 2 and 3 and... So sloppy on the first measure. Hey, thank you, Patrick. For some reason, that first measure I'm always a little sloppy on. 2 and 3. Let's open this up. It makes my editing a little bit easier. Same idea. Gotta clean that up. Okay, one more. I could have got that first measure a little cleaner. So oftentimes, like that one, I'm not feeling right now, and that's okay. You know, chances are I'll do number 3 and then go back to number 2 and clean stuff up as I go. I guess here's the thing. This is why I'm doing these as well. It's just really good practice for me, and it's good to do these live and just kind of like get some of that anxiety out and rushes. And thanks for all the hearts and likes and everything, guys. I appreciate that. I think I had another point, but I might have already lost it. I don't know. Probably something about takes a couple days. All right, number 3. We're gonna go 1 and. I mean, the reality is, by the time I do 1, 2, 3, 4, you've just spent a lot of times in different arrangements of playing this idea. It's really going to tighten you up. All right. I feel like we can just go right in. So tighter on that one. Oh, I remember my point. Some of this is my way of showing you guys how much work. Again, I could be a better musician. This would be way easier for a lot of people. This would be like 5 takes for most drummers. I'm drummer adjacent. I've taught drums for quite a few years. Doesn't mean I'm any good. But just like, you know, a lot of times when I'm doing these videos, it's 10, 15 takes, if not more, 2 to 3 days. And it's just like, I think when we see somebody that's really, really good on any instrument, we go, man, that guy's just natural. Or man, that guy just, you know, it's so cool that he's good. It's like, no, it takes a lot of work to even be close to being good. And just filming these videos. And I'm not looking for a pity party. I'm just like, man, it makes more sense for doing these live and kind of communicating and talking to people like Patrick and Cassidy and saying, hey, you know, what are you guys learning drums? What's new with you guys? And kind of stuff like that. Just more fun and more interactive than me sitting in this is the barn, in the barn by myself and practicing for hours and not release anything. So in all of these, you're really hearing me struggle in that first measure to find that rhythm. And a 2 and 3 and a. So that one is by far better. Probably not. Actually, let's listen back. Probably not great with the metronome, but consistent in time, if that makes any sense. Let's listen. Thank you, Patrick. What I what I lack in talent, I make up for stubbornness and not quitting. I was thinking about this last week. Like there are at least 20 different opportunities where I should have probably quit music. I'm really good at teaching. I'm really good at presenting this idea, and I wouldn't even say not in a video world at all. Like I owned a lesson studio for 8-9 years, and we were very decently successful. We were always broke, but that's because I like to spend money. So I'm good at presenting ideas, and I was good at that kind of stuff. I want to get good at this. That's my ambition, and that's why, you know, I'm gonna, you know, make an ass of myself online and just do these. Okay. 2. See, you hear me tightening up now. And that's not bad. You know, I want to be able to, and the same thing on my own stuff, my own tracking. I want to be able to click myself in and go. Not click myself in and like, man, he's going to suck for 2 measures and then go. And that isn't a skill of itself to hear the beat that are 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and hear that and then apply it. So let's see if we can do that. 2 and 3 and a 4 and definitely better, but we need it tighter than that. 3 and a 4 and probably all except for the last measure. I feel like the last measure I rushed. Let's listen back. So those aren't bad. Probably could be a little tighter. Yeah, you heard on the last measure. It fell apart. Let's do one more of that. It's not going to hurt. 2 and 3 and a 4 and Felt much better about that one. Probably the last measure is wonk as well. Let's move on to exercise 4. I'm going to make sure I don't do like 100 takes of each one because I could do that easily. I wrapped up. So my band, Lamech, check us out if you guys want to. Instagram, Spotify, all that good stuff. But I spent like a month tracking apart. Actually, it's embarrassing. I spent like 3 months tracking apart, deleted it all, started over again. And it was probably 2 weeks ago, I got up to 1,000 takes. And that's just me working on small segments and recording it. And then I comped it all, which is just really dumb to spend that much time either tracking or comping. You got to know when to be like, hey, you know what? You're not ready to record this. Go practice some more and then record it. Because it was a painful practice of comping. If you guys don't know what comping is, someday we'll do that on the channel as well. Okay, exercise number 4 is the closest to the beat. It's kind of just like a mirror image of it. And again, it's nice to work on these at slow tempos because as we get to faster. Hey, thanks, Patrick. So check out our channel. Our latest song was like a year ago. It was Higher Ground. We shot a cool music video. We actually got we got pulled over by the cops because we were on a bridge, and they thought we had crossbows, and they were not crossbows. They were guitars. But, you know, I could see why people would be confused by that. It was pretty fun. It made some epic shots in the video. Okay, number 4. So let's hear that tempo because when I warm up on this, I'm obviously rushing it already. 2 E and 3 and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2 E and. Let's just jump in. I don't mean to be a broken record, but that was good except for the 4th measure. I kind of gave up. Let's listen to that one. I don't think it was terrible. It's my new mark for like I'm happy with something. I don't think it's terrible. So it's probably some verbiage there I got to work on. Yeah, sounds good enough to me. A little bit of flamming on the last. So my test is always like, take the metronome out. Does that feel good? Also, Patrick, when you check us out, understand that I'm not the drummer in the band. I'm singer and guitarist. And the drummer that we have is 1,000 times better than I am. He's such a good and inventive drummer. Reminds me of Stan Lynch, because Stan Lynch always did a great job of like playing a part to the song that you wouldn't think of when you heard the song for the first time. So no metronome. So you heard that little bit of a slowdown, but that's okay. It was worse on the last one. Let's do 2 more because it's only our 2nd take. And again, you know, when I'm doing these videos, I quantize shit because I'm not a cheater, but I am when I need to be. Like, you know, I want these to be tight for somebody that's going to work on these from our YouTube channel. So sometimes it's okay to cheat. Good. Let's do one more. Thought that was a good one, but. Hey Patrick, thanks for the compliment. We appreciate that. I'm speaking for everyone in the band, but we appreciate that. I kind of speak for them all anyway. I'm a little bit of a loudmouth. Which is funny too. In lessons, like I'm very boisterous and fun and whatnot. I don't know how to quite yet transfer that to video without seeming like a complete idiot. So let's listen to that one. I felt like there were some 2 measures that were just groovy as shit. My version of groovy as shit. Yeah, I can live with this all. Could be a little bit more on the downbeat, but... So, Patrick, do you play drums? Are you learning drums? What's your story, my guy? All right, so let's do the beat. So here's the actual beat in the song that gets used. The only different thing that we have to add is this. Well, we got to change the pattern, right? Because it's actually... Let's shut that off. So the actual pattern for the beat of the song that we're kind of working towards. But let's do it at the tempo we were just working on, right? And a 2E and 3 and 4 and a 2E and 3 and. Piano is very fun. I'm not very good at that either. You might see that's a laundry list of things that I'm not good at. 1 and a 2E and. Okay. Let's just jump in and track that. 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's talk about that. That open hi-hat on the end was wrecking me. So let's just get rid of these all. We got to tighten that up before we do anything. 1 and a 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1. Let's listen to the tempo that we're doing. And a 2E and. So it's a little faster. I was faster, not the beat. 1 and a 2E and 3 and 4 and. Let's track. Let's just kind of like, sorry, I'm stopping my own words. Because like sometimes I overanalyze everything. Sometimes you just need to do 3 or 4 in a row and understand that that's just what we're doing. Try to not put a downbeat in there in the last one. 3 and 4 and. Poop. Just not going to talk. 3 and 4 and. My 4 was end of 4 was really late. do this again. So there's good parts that I'm doing, but like it's not consistent for 4 in a row of the exercise that I want to film. So do a couple more and then move on. Better, just not locked in. So let's listen to the one. I think this one was the best that we had so far. I say we as if you guys are to blame for my bad playing. What we have played so far. Let's just listen to this one. And then I feel like we're just going to move to faster tempos and probably come back and do this in a minute. So just very flammy at this tempo. There's some good parts, though. I might be able to salvage this take. It's not as bad as I thought. I just would like it tighter. All right, we're going to move to faster tempos, though. So we did 55. And again, like when I'm teaching this to a student, I try to... First thing I do is if I can get them playing, let's say exercise number 1. If I can get them playing this beat, I will not put a metronome to it right away because I really want to trick them into getting it to time and also just see what their natural tempo is. Like, what speed can you play? Oh, I got distracted. So if they start playing that, I would then grab my phone and do a tap tempo metronome and be like, oh, hey, you're playing that around 90. And then from there, I'd kind of build out the exercise. So same thing when I'm filming these. I'm just trying to like, hey, let's pick a couple tempos I think are good. You know, something that's about half speed, develop the skill set, then break it down, work from there. And I think that's really what I've been good at throughout the years. Like, okay, how do I get you to play this quickly and have some success right away? Where I lacked was then spending 4 hours of my own time practicing. So like I've taught people throughout the year. I mean, like at one point we had, I was teaching 7 days a week, and they're often not than teaching 15 and 16-year-olds that would get better than me because they would just spend all their time and love it. And I'm like, that's awesome. You keep doing that. And then I'd have to hand them off to another teacher and be like, all right, go work with Zach now because Zach's a really good drummer. I'm a starter drummer and moving towards, I don't know, maybe a little bit more. Okay, 70 BPM. So back to exercise number 1. We're going to do the exact same thing again, and if that's boring, that's cool. It's good practice. You know, if I get an hour in today of just these exercises, it's going to get my leg really just moving on this kind of stuff. And then tomorrow, we'll do some more of it. So let's hear 70 and 2, 3. So that moves. 2 and 3 and 4 and... So you can see that's going to cause some issues for me. So we'll just do our best. Might have to come back tomorrow. And a 2E and 3. 1 and a 2E and 3 and a 4E and... Yeah, that's fast. 1 and a 2E and 3 and a... Now here's the nice thing about it. It might be fast right now. And I get that's only 70, and we have to go up to 115. At 115, we're not going to be playing it 2 times back to back. So it gives your leg a little bit of rest. You know, obviously I need to work on the skill as well. All right, quit rambling. Let's just get going. 3 into 4 and 1 into 2 and. I forgot how to play it. This time. All right, I think we're ready. It may not seem like it, but I think we're ready to record. That is just sloppy as shit. Let's listen back. It's probably not great, but let's listen back. Might have to do this at a slower tempo. So the nice thing is, I feel like I have the 55, so I'm good with that. Be nice to be able to do 70 tonight, though. It's not as bad as I hear. There it was bad, though. There it was pretty bad. Good to know that it was as bad as I thought it was. It just needs to be tighter. The first two measures weren't terrible, so I just need to do that for 4 in a row. And if I can't, that's okay. But we're going to do like 4 or 5 takes before I like really move on. Probably do 3 takes. We'll do 3 takes, then we'll move on to exercise number 2. We might have to come back to this and just push this tempo, a couple times tonight, and then get it cleaner tomorrow. Good start. 2 and just so much more effort at this tempo for me than the 55. Had one more. I really want to stop and evaluate myself. It's probably not the right idea, though. Let's listen to the one that I thought was halfway decent. Oh, let's not listen to that because that's terrible. All right, we're gonna do 2 more, and then we're gonna move on no matter what. It was there, just not in time, if that makes any sense. Here's the good thing. I don't know if there's a good thing. The good thing is it's something I need to work on, so we're working on it. And then you start to fall apart. That's almost serviceable. Ooh. All right, the first 2 measures were serviceable. Yeah, that's why often these videos take me 3 or 4 days to film. We're going to try to do this one in 2, though. All right, we're moving to exercise number 2. Best thing I can, if you guys are interested in learning this actual beat, 1, we'd appreciate, if you want to buy the sheet music. If you don't need it, here's the beats. You can figure it out from there. Set a metronome. Try to get the hi-hats. Try to own that. And kudos to you if you learn it faster than me, because I have, I have no ego. Well, I have a little bit of an ego, but not a ton of an ego when it comes to this stuff because I know I'm not that great. So exercise 2, I feel like it's pretty easy. We'll see how it's at 70. Trying to be consistent with my snare, not only my technique, but the sound. So extra things on parts that I feel like are a little bit easier than other parts. Could have been tighter. Better. So let's see. Felt like that was pretty good until I started hitting the spot of my snare that probably needs to be tuned. I wonder if we can hear that note when we listen back. A little bit of a slowdown there. And then you hear how the snare is like, it needs to be tuned. Right idea though. Right idea. Let's do one more. Let's do a couple more. Let's not commit to one because it may not happen. Cool. Now again, that beat shows up in songs. Heartbreakers used it a lot. I feel like Steve Ferrone, I think it's Ferrone, who replaced Stan Lynch. Tom Petty must have loved that beat. And it makes sense. Traveling Wilburys kind of had that sound as well. Some of the stuff that was produced with Jeff Lynne. I'm a big Tom Petty fan, so some of the stuff I actually know where other bands. I'm like, I don't know. I don't listen to this band. That kind of I don't know. I would call that a backbeat feel, but it's not. I don't know enough to explain it. It's my Charlie Day impression. All right, exercise number 3. I know it gets used a lot. I know it's a good thing to practice. And I think my other stream just crashed. So if you guys were watching on the other stream, it's dead. That's okay. We'll just leave it dead. All right. So chances are, you guys got to watch me figure out what I want to do. Shit. We'll just keep this one running. We're doing a record. We can always fix it later. Let's just keep this idea going. We'll do a little bit more tonight. It's only like 40 minutes in. All right. Now I gotta get my bearings straight. So we just did exercise number 2. Let's do exercise number 3. We got our 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and. Same thing. Got to keep that 16th note moving, not rushed, but moving. So it's in tempo. And a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and. So easy to rush those 16th notes when you're on that offbeat. Shit. Number 3. We're doing number 3. All right, let's see if we can keep that in time. Patrick is back, and I might have messed up. I definitely did mess up. Oh, dude, don't be sad. Don't be sorry. So, dude, I'll follow you back though. And what vid were you working on? I kind of like to see what people are doing. You kind of get into your own little world every once in a while. You're creating your own shit, but like, there's creators that I like to watch and check out and whatnot. Pantera, bro, I can't play this song. You don't expect me to play Pantera. Good stuff though. I need to listen to more Pantera. A friend of mine, big fan of him. But with the name Dead Lover, you would think you'd love the Grateful Dead. All right, we got to play that much tighter than we just did. And a 2 and 3 and a 4. Dude, music is life. I'm trying. Bro, I know that if I do these for like 4 more years, sad to say, but if I do these for 4 more years, I'm going to become a really good player. It's kind of part of the ambition of this all, is just to force myself to play all the fucking time to get to the place where I am with that metronome. But you hear my 16th notes on my kick aren't 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and there we go. That's what I can do it. Maybe. We'll find out. Couldn't finish, but that was a better one. Bro, I have no cowbell. It's a little bit of a Napoleon Dynamite voice for me. I don't know where that came from. All right, we're going to do another one where I click through. I felt like, actually, let's listen back. I felt like the first measure, first 2 were good. And then I just thought about cowbell the rest of the time. I was really stuck thinking about cowbell. Don't know why. It's in my subconscious. The 16th notes need to be better. Feels like I'm like bop, ba da 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 bop, and it should be tight. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and I just rush all of those on my foot. So my advice at 41, and something that I regret, not too much, but I regret, is not spending a ton of time with metronome as a little kid, learning piano. And I didn't spend any time, if anything. I didn't even understand it, which is really weird. It's almost even more confusing to not understand how to use metronome. Was not very engaged with the practice. But I wasn't engaged with the music either. And I think, one of the things that when I owned a music studio, what we tried to do is get kids to play stuff that's popular. Stuff that they heard on the radio, maybe even on their parents' radio, like this song. Just to try to keep engagement and trick them into practice. All right, let's see if we get these 16th notes a little quicker. We're going to do a couple more. 3. Try to do 4, 5 yet there. 4 in the beat. For me, it's laying back on that 16th note, which I wasn't doing a good job until like the last 2 measures. it got worse. All right, I just need to do 2 more. All right. This is that point where you just like have to push through a little bit. Not great. Not great. I'm totally playing ba ba da 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 1 1. Patrick, thank you. Maybe don't force people to do it. Patrick says he's going to force his siblings to sub to you, and I appreciate that. We're trying to build something here. Really, it's like the 4th or 5th iteration of Music by the Measures that we've been trying. And I'm like, really, my ambition is just to create a resource where I get to play all the time. And for the next 3 or 4 years, I get better, because that's really my main ambition. Now, I hope along the way that I can come up with exercises like this, because they help me and it helps my students when I teach. I teach part-time right now. I used to teach full-time. So, Patrick, I thank you. You know, force them to watch some more videos. We need to get our watch time up, and we need to get monetized so that we can do this more often, because this is the most fun that I have in my life. This and working on my own band stuff. It's what I want to do every day. And so I know that to do that, you just have to put time in. And you got to be okay with being bad. Like I just was on exercise number 3, where I'm ba ba da 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 1 da 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 is what I was playing, but it's gonna be 1 into 2 and 3. So let's try to click through that. 1 into 2 and 3. 1 into 2 and 3. And Patrick, I also hope you have a family of 40 to 50 people, so you get a lot. Never mind. Sorry. One into 2 and 3 into 4 and 1 into 2 and. So that's a trick that always works for me, and I just probably need to do it 1,000 more times. Everything my playing is something I have to do 1,000 more times. But it's just sitting in this with this hi-hat going. I gotta hear 1 again. 1 into 2 and 3 into 4 and. It just helps my brain to go, oh, that's where that kick's gonna go, and then put it there. All right, let's track that one. One into 2 and 3 into. I changed it again. I gotta. 1 into 2 and 3 into 4 and. Into 2 and 3 into 4 and. And now it's gone. All right, we're gonna try 4. We'll go for a little bit longer. We'll try number 4, which is closest to the full beat, and then we'll try the beat, and then we'll just call it a day. You know, my other stream crashed. I don't know why. So I tried to do a horizontal and a vertical. YouTube likes that shit. I do what YouTube likes. And that one crashed, but that's okay. More people watch the short stream than anything else. So number 4, 1 into 2 E and 3 into 1 into 2 E and 3. Let's hear tempo. And 2 E and 3. Now we just have to do that in time, which is really, honestly, one of the hardest things for me. So yeah, the best thing to do is record yourself and listen back, which is exactly what we're doing right here. 1 into 2 and 3 and 4. think I played the wrong beat one time. But there was a groove. There was a groove. It just did not exist for long. The groove is gone. Let's listen to that one that, excuse me, might have been halfway decent. We'll see if there actually was a groove or not. So not bad. I mean, that's about where my skill set is. And then on the third measure, it starts to crumble, which is about where my skill set's at. The first two measures are exactly what I want. Just got to aim for that consistency. You know, and I pointed this out before in my playing, but like the fact that I can struggle to do 4 measures at a tempo that's slow says how long I have to go to actually like play a whole song over and over again. All right, let's do it. We're going to do 2 more. 2 in a row. I'm just going to ignore my own proclivities to want to say stuff after every time. Just going to fucking let it roll, and then we'll do the beat a couple times, and then we'll call it a night. 1 into 2 E and 3 into. I know I stopped. I said I wasn't going to, but those first 2 measures were good. Those are not. Two E and 3 and a 4 E and. So we're probably at our limit right now of what I'm capable of. We're going to try the beat. We're going to try it 2 or 3 times. It might happen. It just might magically happen. Tomorrow, more practice. Same exact thing. Probably tighten up those slow tempos. Maybe we take the 70, we move it down to 65. I don't know. Different things like that we could do to kind of just get there. 2 or 3 days of this, though, we'll have the beat. All right, so we got 1 into. 1 into 2 E N. Okay. Let's just jump and record. 2 E N, 3 N. Not as bad as you would think it would be. 2 E and 3 and 4 and. So now those are perfect. We'll do one more, and then we can listen back to those 3 and laugh together. We're going to start that one. We're going to start that one over. And 2 and 3. So not very good on any of those. Let's listen to the first. Let's listen to the second one. I think the second one was close. Like that's serviceable. Oh, that is not. And then it gets worse. You don't know how many lessons I've taught where a student's like, "Meh, I got that. I'm good." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. You're not listening to this correctly at all. Listen to yourself play." Like I'll even record students and be like, "Listen," and not to be mean, right? If they're 8, I'm not gonna pick on them. I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, my guy, what you're perceiving as being in time or sounding like a beat has this to it." When you can start to notice that in real time from listening back over and over again and make your ears bleed, you get better. So slow, sloppy, just not in time. So I don't want to leave with a bitter taste in my mouth. Let's listen to this one more time, and then we're just going to do 2 more. That's worse than I remember it. Okay, let's do 2 more, and then we're going to call it a night. It's a good practice. It's good. It's good. An hour-long session. By far the best I played it. I lose the sense of time when those kicks are coming in, and some of those hi-hats might be in time, but I don't honestly know, which is the problem. That's problematic. So that's except for there. So a lot of it is just maintaining that sense of timing, that feeling, all those good things. So guys, I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to keep on working on this, guys. If you want to support the channel, become a member at musicbythemerchantspro.com. That's our website where we sell sheet music. We sell memberships for sheet music, and we try to create a lot of resources, and we also try to put a lot of effort into these videos as well. So thank you, guys. Have a good night. Patrick, very nice to meet you. Cassidy, Music is Life, Dead Lover. I missed one person. Oh, Ponzi Scheme, the cowbell guy. Or girl. I don't know. All right, you guys have a good rest of your night.